Marc with Murray Speed & Custom. I'm here at Tom Brown's garage.
Tom Brown Racing.
We're gonna talk about one of Tom's cars, his Mopar here. And this will be one of many more to come of our series on with our customers talking about their cars, race cars, street rods, and their passions.
Cool.
All right, so Tom's been a customer of Murray's for many, many years.
30 years.
30 years, so he only went back to the store in North Miami, which was built in '82.
By State Road 9.
Correct.
We used to street race on State Road 9 every Friday night. Was it Saturday night? Maybe Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday night is when that would happen, yes. Yep.
There would be like 200 cars in the park and ride parking lot. It was like something you'd never seen before. It was crazy. Had a lot of fun on that road.
That was when racing was really fun.
Oh yeah. There was tricks to different roads. That road, if you tried to put some sauce on that road, VHT that road, it was like you were in water.
You also was racing behind Publix on 183rd Street.
Down
Big Publix
south.
warehouse. Yes.
I don't think
Miami
I was
Gardens
ever
Drive,
at that one.
Yeah.
I don't think I was ever there. But we did a lot of racing on State Road 9. And there was another place way down south we would go on Tuesday nights. Saga Bay. We would go down to Saga Bay and race. And there was some crazy stuff going on down there. And then we would race up in Davie. We called it Power Plant because it was right behind the power plant. I don't know if you remember that.
441 area, yeah.
Yep, it was a little east of 441, just north of Griffin Road. They built a power plant over there, and it's two-lane road that went nowhere but to the power plant. And we would race there. I remember leaving there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they were still racing. And I was just like, I'm done, I'm going home. It was awesome. This thing ran there a lot and won a lot. Also, County Line.
County Line was a really neat track.
County Line, after a while, was like the track. I remember seeing Johnny Balls pull a wheelie on that road and was just like, what? It was way back in the day. It was really cool.
So let's talk about the Mopar here. You've had this since you were what, 19?
I've had this since I was 18. One of my neighbors owned it, and he used to race it. And then he got married, and he forgot about it. And it sat in front of his mom's house for I don't know how long. And I kept saying to myself, I'm gonna buy this car one day. And I ran into him in a bar one night. We were both drunk, talking shit. I said, hey man, when are you gonna sell me the car? He said, 600 bucks, come get it. I was like, okay, deal. I was at his house the next morning at 8 o'clock, banging on the door because I wanted the car.
Waking him up, hangover and everything.
I didn't even know he didn't even live there. His mom opened the door and she was like, what the hell do you want? You know, so early on a Sunday morning. I said, Danny home. I talked to him last night. He said that, you know, come buy the car. She's like, oh, you're gonna buy that piece of crap? Let me get him over here right now. She calls me. She's like, get over here. You better get over here because this guy wants to get this piece of shit out of my yard. So he did, and I gave him 600 bucks. We had to cut a tree that was growing through the trunk. And we had to cut that out. We had to put air in the tires. There was a hole in the gas tank. I just said, screw it, man. And we dragged it home. I flat towed it home to my house, and it was all downhill from there. It went through many engines, many transmissions. It was ugly yellow with black primered spots on the rust, and I street raced it like that forever. It was my only car for probably about 4 years. I used to drive it to work with a 456 gear in the rear.
Hey, when we were young, we did a lot a lot of crazy
Yeah.
things. You think back and you look back at all the crazy things we did when we were young.
Yeah,
I remember you coming in for many years buying parts for this.
Spending a fortune on it. It used to have a bench seat in it, and when my oldest son was born, we had a baby seat in the front.
With the 456
with
gear
the 456 gear in the rear. Yep. and it was a lot of fun growing up with that thing. And now my daughter says I can't sell it; it's got to be handed down to her.
Your daughter's racing this car now, isn't she?
Yeah. My daughter started racing a junior dragster, and she grew out of that, and now she's been bracket racing this. We slowed it down a little bit for her, and she's having fun with it, doing good. When she's not in college, she's in college now.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, this thing's, it's had a lot. There's a lot to it. There's a lot behind it. There was a period of about 5 years where I raced it every weekend. Mm-hmm. I had no idea how fast it was because it wasn't at the track. It was all at the street. And then my boy Pat helped me out, and we put a big horsepower motor in it, big small block, and it was a little too much for what we had in the streets back then.
Right.
So that's when I just started track racing it. And we were kicking the crap out of everybody with it. I won 3 races in a row, 3 events in a row at Immokalee, and then we went to County Line. I won an event there, so I won 4 events back to back to back to back. And it was just, the thing was a killer. And then they changed the rules. And I told them, I said, man, if you guys change the rules, I can't run this car anymore. They were going to take the weight from, it was 3,100 pounds, and they were going to drop it to 2,800. There's no way that car is going to be competitive at 3,100 pounds. And I wasn't about to, cut it up and plastic windows, because it was still a street car, legit.
Right.
So I told them, I said, if you guys lower the weight, I'm going to go get a Fox body and take the motor and tranny out of this and put it in a Fox body. And they lowered the weight, and we took the motor and tranny out, put it in a Fox body, and we called it the Mofo. Because it was part Mopar and part Ford.
Well, that's the interesting part about the Fox body is they put all types of motors.
Yep.
It didn't matter whether it was
Didn't
a
matter.
Ford, Chevy, Mopar.
Yep.
They put them all in there. Big blocks, small blocks.
Yeah.
The Fox body was just an unbelievable chassis.
It's a race car.
They really hit a home run with that car.
Oh yeah, right out of the bat, it's a race car. This thing here, you had to do all kinds of crazy crap to get it to work, and it still don't work right. With the suspension in this thing,
Well, it's a Mopar.
It's a Mopar.
Mopars were always tough on the suspension. They could make horsepower, but the suspension.
This car works good. The funny thing, so after we took the motor and transmission out of this, we put it in the Mustang. We went out, we had some fun with the Mustang. Then my wife wanted to have another kid, so I was like, okay, I'll sell the car. You can stay home. We'll have another kid. So I got this thing sitting in the shop. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? I'll put a pump gas motor in it, and I'll play with it on the street again. I put the pump gas motor in it. Didn't really do too much with it because I got my kids and all this. And a race popped up at Palm Beach International, and it had a 12.0 index. And I knew the car would go 1190 on motor, and it was in the middle of summer. I said, man, I bet the thing will go 12.0 in the heat of the day. It hadn't been out in 3 years. We took it over there. This was the first time my daughter ever went with me to an actual race. Right out of the bat, the thing went 12.000, qualified number 1. It ain't been out of the shop in 3 years and qualified number 1. We went like 7 rounds, made it into the finals. And then the dumbass driver was sleeping at the wheel and got a bad light, and I got beat. But it was a good day. We had a lot of fun
And
with
make
it.
it that far, fresh out of the box.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah,
That's pretty amazing.
Cool. My daughter was blown away. She was like, I didn't think that this would happen. But the bad thing about that is the next time we had taken the Corvette out, she's like, how come we don't win with the Corvette? She expected to win, and it's not that easy. It's very hard to win. I know a lot of guys that have been racing a long time, and they never won anything. So I feel real blessed to have been in the winner's circle 4 times in a row. It was pretty cool.